Welcome to the Historic Sports Car Club's 70's Roadsports race. This is number 1 of 2 of the day. We have Charles Barter in pole position with Mark Leverett in second. In third is John Williams alongside Will Leverett. And on row 3 we have Howard Payne and Mark Bennett. And in 7th is Jeremy Clark with Dave Karaskas in 8th. Row 5 is Brian Jarvis, and in 10th place is Robert Gate. And then in 11th place we have Anthony Ross with Jai Sharma in 12th. Row 7 is Steve Warrad and John Hutchinson. Row 8 is Steve Bellaby and Ian Jacobs. On row 9 you have Mike Newman and Lawrence Alexander, with John Wagstaff in 19th and David Tomkinson rounding out the top 20. Moving down to row 11. We have Will Morton with Ken Rorinson alongside. We have Chris Baxter and Adam Gittings in row 12. Nigel Parry and Nick Strong row 13, with Peter Connell and Mark Oldfield starting 28th at the back of the grid. So as we finish forming up for this first race of the day, now watch Barter on the inside. How's the start been? It doesn't look too great as he's dropped back into third, now fourth, and he's dropping further down the field. Did he have a problem on that start? He's dropped a lot of places there. Somewhere back in the midfield now. He's got a lot of work to do as we watch Steve Bellaby going around the outside of John Hutchinson. I don't think he's going to make that place stick as John Hutchinson's now pulling away from him, with Mike Newman just ahead, and on board with Dave Tomkinson. We're looking at the outside of Nick Strong there, and we might be able to get him on the brakes if he's careful enough. Now we've got 3 cars ahead. Where's he going to go? Taking the inside of Steve Bellaby's car, and that's 2 places made in 1 corner. Very good going from David Tomkinson, and now we're eyeing up another move, and 1 more. Can we go around the outside here as well? 2 cars in 1 braking zone. It looks as though he can, and he's just tucked into the back of John Hutchinson there. As we see Mark Leverett come across the line in first place. Obviously took first away from Barter on the line. And in second we have Williams, and we have Leverett, Will Leverett. He's on the grass, he's going around. Save it, Will. Can he get going again? He's going to lose an awful lot of positions here. What is he going to do for the rest of the race? And oh no, we've got Mark off. Mark Leverett has taken to the grass as well. Both cars grass tracking, but he gets it back on without as much drama. So as we go back on board with Dave Tomkinson, we're eyeing up yet another overtake. This is on Ken Rorinson. Is he going to do it in the brakes? Yes. Lovely textbook manoeuvre there. So again, he's just looking at the back of Newman there, trying to figure out what places he can make up as he slides right past. And on he goes. So Mark Leverett comes across to start lap number 3. We still have Williams in second, being challenged by Bennett. Just behind them we've got Karaskas, Clark and Barter all in a position as Barter makes a move, getting past Jeremy Clark nice and cleanly. Further back in the field we've got a few cars battling at the back. We have Jai in his Ferrari, looking up the inside but thinking better of it. And we've got Charles just going a little wide there, looking at the back of Karaskas, and he gets by on the brakes and holds it nicely. So Barter up into 4th, looking at the back of Bennett for 3rd place, as Bennett's looking at the back of Williams for 2nd as he goes around the outside. Barter's following the Porsche on the inside, and it looks like he's got his 3rd place back, as Mark now has a good lead over the rest of the field. That battle still strong for 2nd place now as Barter's looking around the outside of Williams. Bennett still tucked in, looking at the opportunities that are going to come his way if anything goes wrong. And then you've got Karaskas and Clark still very close in proximity, as we're on board now with Tomkinson once again, as Leverett comes around the outside. Again, Leverett making up ground after his small off a little earlier in the day. Doing well to make up ground and keep his head in the game. So now as we watch Karaskas and Clark, Payne right behind, Tomkinson once again. What are we going to see this time around? Giving space to the inside there, as we have John Hutchinson just making his way back past. What's Tomkinson going to do? We know he's good on the brakes. Thinks better of it this time. Is he going to go for the switchback? We'll have to wait to find out. So as Mark Leverett comes across the line once again, starting lap 5, Barter now has a good bit of space back to Williams, but he is closing that gap up to Mark Leverett, so can he make a move before this race is over? We still have a lot of laps to go, as we're watching Payne there, coming around the first turn nice and cleanly. Again, Payne's quite close to Clark and Karaskas as well, as we're on board with Clark looking at the back of Karaskas. And Clark thinking he left a bit of space there, so he's not going to have the speed. Can we do anything on the brakes? He had a little look, a cheeky little look, but I think he's thought better of it this time. Live to fight another day. As we watch a good little battle happening here as Will comes up past Jai Sharma. And Jai Sharma losing another place as a driver follows Will up the inside now. Barter challenging for the lead on Mark Leverett. Mark Leverett takes a wide line around the hairpin turn. Charles doesn't have the acceleration to challenge out of the corner. We're going to have to think of another game plan there, I think. But here they come across the line to start lap 6. They are bumper to bumper as Barter's looking down the inside of Mark Leverett now. And that is job done. That is Barter up into first place now, as Clark makes a move on Karaskas. So Clark up into 5th. And we have Payne still watching what happens right behind them. And now Clark's eyeing up Bennett. Can he get that car up into 4th place? We're going to have to wait to find out. As again we watch back to Will Leverett making his way back up the field. We've got another challenge for position back there. We've got Nick Strong looking down the inside of John Wagstaff, but John Wagstaff might have been better on the brakes, and he's kept that going. So as we're just watching through this little complex, Will Leverett's there going around the left-hand turn, going to get himself set up for that right-hand hairpin. And away they are. So Barter's now got a little bit of space over Mark Leverett now. Bennett's dropped back a little bit, but he's a fair bit closer to Mark Leverett than he was when Leverett was on his own. As we see a nice little battle between Clark and Bennett there. Clark's got the inside for the next corner. Did he carry enough speed through to make a move on the brakes? As you can see, Bennett's just got a little bit more, but Clark's not having none of that. He's saying, this inside line, it is mine, I am going to stick to it. And that looks like they might still be side by side, as we see Will Leverett still making his way through the field, looking at the back of a lovely Porsche 924. And as we look again at the leaders coming across the line to start lap 8, and we see some back markers just ahead of them. What could this do to the race? So we now have Williams in 3rd with Clark in 4th, Bennett in 5th, Payne still there in 6th, looking at any opportunity he can find from the lead 5. Karaskas has dropped down into 7th, and then it's a big gap back to Warren in 8th, having a little battle there with Gate. As Gate just looks to the inside, thinks better of it. We've got Will Leverett coming along the inside of Anthony Ross there. That's a move completed, as he's now on the back of Gate. We go on board with Will Leverett. Can he do something on the brakes here? As we go for the outboard shot, both hard on the anchors. Will Leverett takes a lovely neat line, but can't make anything of that. Now as we see, the leaders are dealing with traffic here. You see that blue flag waving on the right, as Barter's now being attacked by Mark Leverett, who sticks it down the inside, very squiggly on the brakes. And that's a move back up into 1st. Barter did try to counter-attack with that switchback, but there was just not enough room. This is shaping up to be a fantastic battle for the leaders. We have another back marker in the way there. Charles Barter eyeing up for the brakes. Mark Leverett defending. Charles is down there. Clark now looking at the back of Williams as they're dealing with traffic. It seems Williams found a gap between a car. Now he's hampered by another one. This allows Clark to get right back onto the back of him. And as we see, Jai Sharma leading this little field of cars. Mike Newman very tight there as there's a move for position. And you see Clark there attacking Williams, looking for any opportunity, one side, then the other, around the outside. But can he do anything there? It's a longer line around the outside. You do carry more speed, but that is a Lotus versus a Porsche. Has he got this move done? Can the Porsche do anything on the brakes? And yes, there goes Williams. That was a great attempt from Clark at making that position, making that move work. But now he's got to regroup, rethink. What can he do now? It's a very wide Porsche of Williams. As again, the leaders come across the line. As Mark Leverett has to take evasive action down the inside of a back marker there. A little bit more space between them than there was on the previous lap, as there is between Clark and Williams as well. But that's not going to stop Clark trying to carry more speed through turn 1, trying to get the run down into the next braking zone. As we're on board, Jeremy Clark showing himself in the mirrors of Williams. He's not close enough this time around. As we look back to Will. Again, Will's been making up some fantastic progress. And he sits now in 8th place after overtaking Gate. And the next in line for will be Karaskas. As we just watch Jai Sharma coming across the line to start laps 11 for himself. And in the distance there you can see Charles Barter and Mark Leverett coming across to start lap 12. So they're making good progress on the field, but this is a large number of back markers now, all being shown the blue flag, but they are battling for position. And we see a lot of smoke from John Hutchinson's tyres there. Let's hope there's no problem for him. And Jeremy Clark, once again, he's looking at the back of Williams for any opportunity at all. But at this point, he's looking at this braking zone thinking, well, that might be his only opportunity, but he needs to get the speed on that Porsche. As we see Gate having a little fight with Jarvis there. And a little further back, they're a bit unsure there was Ross, whether he could have gone for that inside line. But this seems like a fairly even battle between these guys, and Steve Warrad may be the one to come out with the lead over that small park. As again we see Barter just making his way up to the back of Jai Sharma's Ferrari, and Mark has been hampered by a number of back markers there, as Williams and Clark are making their way through the same back markers, coming up against the same problems, where you find a car in between the two, and that's of course going to create a lot of space between Williams and Clark now. As you can see, that gap has opened right up. John Hutchinson's car is still providing a lot of smoke, as he allows Williams to just squeeze through around the outside. Clark's now looking at the back of Hutchinson, wondering how much space he's going to give. As we see Gate making a move on Warrad around the outside. Warrad's gone deep, so that looks like a move that has stuck. Commentator's curse, it's real. So then we have Barter with a lot of space over Mark Leverett now. Those back markers have widened that gap by quite a lot. Williams and Clark back there still having a little battle. It seems like Clark has made more time up since being so far back on the last lap. Obviously being able to dispatch the back markers a little bit faster. as he's now thinking down the inside of Williams. He's on the brakes, but Williams has got the better braking power and manages to keep it around the outside of Clark there. Clark's not giving up though, he's right on the bumper of Williams, so they've got another back marker to deal with, and Barter comes across the line. Once again, not long left in this race now as the start lap 15 of 17. Mark Leverett's now across the line, but he's looking at the back of Gates, and in the distance there you can see Williams and Clark are fight for third place, just getting past Jai Sharma. And then you have Bennett right there as well, so Bennett's closed right back up to the back of these guys. And then you have Payne there still in 6th with a little bit more space towards the back of Bennett's car. And there's Mark Leverett with a lot of space to make up if he's going to get anywhere near Charles Barter now, and not a lot of time to do it. Williams and Clark still towing each other around. And then Bennett with a little bit of space to Payne. It seems like Payne might have closed up a little bit since that last look, and there's Hutchinson's gone into the pits. Let's hope it's not terminal. He might be able to get back out to finish this race. As we watch Gates with Williams and Clark right behind again. And there is Payne. Jai Sharma making his way past a couple more cars. As John Wagstaff gives him plenty of room there. And this battle for third place, Williams and Clark. What is going to happen? Clark has tried a lot of different attacks, various different moves. As we see Karaskas coming back through there, the yellow car with the black stripes, down in 6th place. As we're watching Steve Warrod there, under attack. He might keep that position for himself, so on to the last lap then. Charles Barter leads Mark Leverett. Just back in the distance there. Williams with some space over Clark now. And then you've got Gates coming across the line before Payne. And then there's a long gap now. Jai Sharma's going to across the line, well ahead of Dave Karaskas in 6th. As we're watching Clark now. This is a long way back from where he would like to be, as Williams goes a little bit wide there. That's going to give some speed to Jeremy Clark. Is it going to be enough? Williams might have only lost a 10th. But if Jeremy Clark can find a 10th, he might have enough to challenge into the hairpin. As we're watching at the line, Steve Warrad is on the attack and is under attack. As we have Charles Barter, your race winner of race 1. Mark Leverett finishes in 2nd place for race 1. And 3rd place is definitely going to go to Williams, who just crosses the line now. And then we have Clark finishing in 4th place. Very well deserved for both cars, battling for most of that race. And then you have Payne coming across the line in 5th. And it's away back to the yellow car with the black stripes of Karaskas in 6th. And then Will Leverett maybe a little further back after that spin. There he is with the martini stripes coming across in 7th. And then we will have, at some point, Nick Strong in the 37. There he is, followed by Warrad coming across in 9th, and in 10th place is Jarvis in 10th place. And there we have it. There is your result for race 1. Again, a very close battle between Barter, Leverett, Williams and Clark, with a very strong recovery from Will Leverett making his way back up into 7th place. So, keep yourselves ready and happy for race number 2, which is coming to you very shortly after this quick message. So we are gridding up for the Historic Sports Car Club's 70's Roadsports Race 2. We have Charles Barter on pole again alongside Mark Leverett. John Williams is in third this time with Jeremy Clark in fourth. Howard Payne starts in fifth with Dave Karaskas in sixth. Will Leverett starts from seventh this time round alongside Nick Strong. On row 5 we have Steve Warrad and Brian Jarvis rounding out that top 10. Now we have Anthony Ross and Robert Gay in row 6. Jai Sharma and Will Morton are on row 7. 15th is John Wagstaff with Lawrence Alexander in 16th. And in 17th we have Stephen Bellaby and Mike Newman. Making up row 10 we have David Tomkinson and Ken Rorinson rounding out that top 20. As you can see, they're just coming around the final corner and getting on the grid. And then we have row 11, Adam Gittings and Chris Baxter, and Nigel Parry and Mark Bennett are on row 12, with Peter Connell making up the final place in 25th. And I didn't see Hutchinson's name there. He retired in race 1, quite close to the end, so it doesn't look like he's made it back out. As we're on board for the start with Dave Karaskas. There they are. And away they go. Will Barter make a better start this time? No, he doesn't. He drops another place. Now it looks like we've got Williams leading around that first turn with Clark tucked him right behind. That's a very familiar sight for Clark. As the rest of the cars come around nice and cleanly now. We've got Jai Sharma and Oldfield quite close. As we've got Leverett making a pace up around the outside of Payne there. Will he make that stick? As they come around down the back straight. You have Mark Bennett there on the inside, 3 cars. And on board with Will Leverett is looking at the back of Mark Payne. He didn't get that job done. As they're on the brakes now, looking at the back of Dave Karaskas' car. Oh, and there's contact there between Karaskas and Payne. No harm, no foul. It looks like both cars have got away with it this time. So across the line, we have Williams in first place. We have Clark in second, Mark Leverett in third, and Barter in fourth. Payne is in fifth still, with Will Leverett in sixth, making his way past Dave Karaskas in seventh. And then as the rest of the cars come across the grid, we have a battle for position with Lawrence Alexander and Warrad on the inside. So Clark attacking Williams. We have Karaskas now on board. He's looking at the back of Leverett's car. It's way back to do anything on the brakes, but is Leverett looking at the back of Payne for a move? No, he's not, and we had a car wide there. Was that Barter taking a very wide line around the hairpin? So again, here we come across the line to finish lap 2 and start lap 3. Clark is dicing around, deciding on the outside line, squirreling on the brakes as Barter makes a move up the inside of Leverett. That's a move for third place, as Clark's very close to the back of Williams there, and Leverett's not going to let that go quickly, but we have Barter down the inside of Clark. Is this going to be a move for second place? It looks like it. We know that Barter's good on the brakes. Seems to have that done. Now we've got 5th place Will Leverett watching all the action unfold. Can he get down the inside? He can. So William passes Mark. Now he's looking at the outside of Payne on the brakes. Can he get the switchback done? No, not quite. Such exciting racing from these guys. As we see a change in place between Gittings and Parry. As Gittings just goes around the inside there, and then Barter is looking for a place on Williams. We know that Barter's quick. He started poorly in race 1 and went on to win, and it looks like he's going to do very much the same thing here. So Payne is now under attack from Will Leverett. Will Leverett started quite far back. He went off in race 1, which meant he's had to start from 7th. But what can he do? He was in that top 4 on the grid of race 1. Can he make his way past Payne? Now looking back a bit further into the field, now we have Jai Sharma And a few more cars battling for position further back. Here we go then. Will Leverett, he's right, he's left, he's on the outside, looking for that switchback manoeuvre. Doesn't quite find the grip. So Payne keeps hold of that place once again, and Barter has pulled out an almighty lead now over Williams. Clark is still tucked in right behind, very familiar from race 1, as we have Leverett now round the outside of Payne. That's a move that's not going to work. We have Mark just behind, watching all of this action, waiting for any opportunities so that he can strike and make up a place or two. Leverett and Payne are so close, bumper to bumper. Payne's now having a look at Clark, Leverett's now having a look at Payne. Clark's trying to defend the both of them as Leverett takes it round the outside. Is he going to hold on to this position? It's a left now, so he's got the inside, and then he's on the outside for the run down into the hairpin. We know he's been trying this switchback. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Is he going to hold on to this position around the outside? Oh, it's close, it's close. Payne's got the inside, but it looks as if Leverett might have that, and he does. So across the line they come, starting lap 6 now. Mark Leverett's now moving up on Payne, trying to take advantage of that opportunity that was just gifted to him, but he's not done it. Payne's held him off into the first corner around here, as we see Karaskas back there in 7th, and then you've got Bennett, Gate and Jarvis making the top 10, and a little bit further back we've got Jai looking down the inside of Lawrence Alexander. Is he going to make that move stick? We'll have to wait and find out, but we've got Will Leverett now looking at the back of Clark, who's looking at the back of Williams. Will Leverett fancied a look down the inside there, but I don't think he's got quite enough momentum. Barter's now alone to take it home, with Williams trying to fend off Clark at all costs. Clark trying to get past Williams, and meanwhile we have Will trying to take advantage of the little squabble between the two second place fighting cars. Meanwhile you've got Mark, who has just got past Payne, and on board with David Tomkinson as we're looking down the inside into the hairpin. Nicely controlled, and that looks like it could be a battle that's developing. As we switch back to watch Jai Sharma coming around with Lawrence Alexander tucked in right behind. A little bit further back in the field now we have a little bit of a squad there. I'm not sure whether that was a move or whether that was just avoiding action. As you see Gittings coming across the line there with Barter not far behind now, so Barter's going to be coming up on that traffic in the next lap or so. Williams is still fending off Clark, and Clark is still fending off Leverett. This has now turned into a 4-car battle as we've got Mark Leverett, who has just joined the back of this group, and Mark taking the tighter corner, wondering if he can use that to gain some space closer to Will Leverett, as Will Leverett's now wondering what he needs to do to get past Clark, just as Clark's been wondering for most of race 1 and all of this race now. So as we're looking back to the tail end of the field, watch Lawrence Alexander going around turn 1, which will be a space very shortly occupied by the tail end of the field, as we see Mike Newman and David Tomkinson is now a little bit closer than he was a lap or two ago. Will this give him an opportunity to close up into the complex and then to have a punt down at the hairpin? So Barter doesn't seem to be getting any further away now. Williams might have stepped up the pace, definitely being harassed by Clark, and then you've got the two Leveretts trying to put that pressure on, trying to force an opportunity, but the drivers here are of such a level that they are not phased. They are pushing hard and they are trying to gain a place. David Tomkinson did get a little bit closer this time around, but not quite enough to make a move. So he's going to have to follow around, tuck in, try and collect that draft and have another go. As we see in the distance, the tail end of the field coming around, and there is Charles Barter. Coming up to the line now, you see that blue flag waved. Everybody knows the leaders are coming. In the last race, this did cause opportunities, it did create space, it did make for an exciting battle between first and second and third and fourth. This time around, however, it's everybody from second down into fifth that's got the opportunity to use these back markers to their advantage. As we watch Will Leverett just having a cheeky little look as he goes past the back marker, looking at the inside of Clark. Knows Clark missed the apex, so he's down the inside. Can he go around the outside at the hairpin? We have a back marker there. He's caught right up to the side of Williams there, and he's got the move done. So that is Will Leverett up into third place. He's got past Clark. That's very tight. That's contact back marker collecting Williams. Thankfully, Williams has managed to keep it on track, and the cars all go past. Clark's now looking for a way to fight past Leverett again, as Leverett's looking for a way to fight past Williams. Thankfully, the back marker didn't ruin the race as it's unfolding, and thankfully he didn't go off himself. But Will Leverett's right on the exhaust of that Porsche now, looking to the outside line, just as he did with Clark. He's later on the brakes. Can he carry the speed? He's got the inside for the left-hand kink, and then he'll be on the outside for that hairpin. We saw him outbrake Clark. He's defending, What's Williams got? Williams might have backed out of that, but Will Leverett did compromise his entry there. So will Williams come back at him down the long straight now to turn one? That little kink there, it looks like Will Leverett has that job done. So Williams down into third, with Clark once again hustling that position. As we see Mike Newman there just getting his elbows out. Nope, we have Payne. Payne's gone wide. We saw this from Will Leverett earlier. If he can keep it straight, keep going, he might not lose as many places as the field has spread out a little bit. But as you see, Dave Karaskas is in seventh. He's now got an opportunity to capitalise. Will he do anything on the brakes here? He's having a look, he's having a think. He's on the inside, down into the braking zone. Can Payne hold on to it around the outside? We've seen from Leverett it's possible, but no, Karaskas has that move done. So that's Karaskas up into sixth, Payne down into seventh after a little mistake. Now as we look back to Barter, we have Will Leverett in second with a bit more space back now to Williams, obviously because of traffic, but Clark is not relenting. Clark is right on the back of Williams there as we see Leverett coming around that first turn. And here's Williams, followed by Clark. Will Leverett on board. We know he's got a lot of ground to make up on Barter. There he is in the distance. What's this? And Will is out. Will's had an engine failure. Oh my. That's not the way he wanted to end this race. He did so well, making up lost ground after that spin in race one, starting in seventh and getting all the way up into second place. You can see the frustration there. That is not how he wanted to end this place, but that does promote Williams back into second, Clark back into third, as that battle rages on, as we're on board with David Tomkinson as he comes down. Yellow flag zone, we've got a couple of cars that have spun out there. I believe that's Lawrence Alexander in the red and white car there, so they've had an unfortunate coming together. As we see now, there's a little bit of space caused by a back marker between Williams and Clark now, but that leaves Mark Leverett with an opportunity down the inside, but Clark is better on the brakes and holds on to that third place for now. And then Karaskas just flashes past the screen as we see Payne still back down in sixth, making up as much time as he can after that small off at the turn one. And this is the view from Dave Karaskas as he lines up and overtakes. That's a back marker in front of us. We have Will Leverett's car on the right hand side, unfortunately stricken and broken, which is such a shame, as he did so well to get all the way back up into second place for it all to be taken away from him. So Dave down the inside of a back marker here. This should not be a problem for the yellow and black striped car. as Barter's now got an almighty lead over Williams now. Obviously so much space has been lost trying to get back through these back markers at the tail end of the field. Clark is still dicing around in the braking zone, trying to put Williams off, trying to say, I am here, I am not giving up. As we look a bit further back now to Payne, who's a little bit under pressure here. I'm seeing Bennett's closing ever gradually to the rear end of Payne. So now we're on board with Karaskas again. Another back marker ahead of us. As the next car ahead of Karaskas is Mark Leverett. With one hand off the wheel there, does Dave have a problem? Normally you'd want to see two hands on the wheel at all times. As we see Barter now lining up Jai Sharma, just lapping him once more. And then it's a good few seconds now. It's a long way back to Williams, and Clark seems a little bit further back. But I don't think he's given up just yet. Will Morton there just makes space for them both to go around. And Dave Karaskas there with Payne getting a little bit closer, but I think Bennett is getting closer to Payne now as well. Could this be another 3-car battle that's emerging? As we watch the tail end of the field come around, and that is a very lonely Adam Gittings at the moment. And further back, plenty of space between all the cars. We've got Gates there in the green car, just fending off his opponent as Barter comes across towards turn 1 again, and it is a lot of seconds back to Williams now, so Barter could be pushing harder than he needs to right now. Could that be a factor in the race? Could it just be that Clark is causing Williams to defend so hard that they're slowing right down? Either way, Clark is not giving up. He is saying to Williams, I am here, I am going to do everything I can to get past. Now what are we seeing from Dave Karaskas? I did mention that he had one hand off his steering wheel going around a corner a while ago. He's fighting the wheel a little bit there if you look. One hand off again. What's Dave feeling that we can't see? Is everything okay with that car? And as we watch Gittings coming around turn 1, little bit of smoke out the exhaust, but that's nothing for a carburettor car. As Barter's there now, across the line to win. Williams, has he held on to second place? I believe he has, so that puts Clark back in third. And then back in fourth. Lost a bit of ground to the back markers comes Mark Leverett. And then it will be Dave Karaskas in the yellow with black stripes car coming across the line in fifth. Payne very close in sixth, and Bennett really did close up to Payne, with Jarvis right behind in eighth. And then we have Gates in ninth and Ross now in 10th. And that rounds out the top 10 for race 2. And that was a really exciting race there. I hope you enjoyed it. Both races from the Historic Sports Car Club. 70's Roadsports providing some excellent racing. I really do feel for Will Leverett, however, with that DNF. He did so well to get back up into second place to have the car fail. There you are, there's your clarification for race 2. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Alexander Rhodes, your commentator, and we look forward to seeing you at the next event.